What is up? Man, we are back in black in the building. Shout out to everybody out there at the corporate plantation doing what they need to do to survive. I hate talking about this. But anyway, shout out to my brother David from No Compromise. Georgia in the building. Shout out to my brother James Youngblood. Texas is definitely in the building. Shout out to the homegirl Shawnee, Philly in the building. Shout out to the homegirl Erica, Florida in the building. Shout out to Angie, Tasha, everybody in Vegas. We're going to get on that in a minute too. And shout out to just everybody all across the United States of America. Let's get it. Man. Shout out to everybody enjoying their weekend. Enjoying their weekday, their off days. Everybody's off days is different, especially if you live in Vegas. So shout out to everybody doing that. Man, first, before we want to get into Diddy's public shame, man, there was a shooting in Las Vegas at the Las Vegas Athletic Club. We call it LVAC if you lived in Las Vegas. If you got any relatives that live in Las Vegas, Nevada, that's what you're going to see. You're going to see a lot of LVACs, a lot of 24-hour fitness, lifetimes. Well, I used to go to this gym because I didn't live too far from that neighborhood. Matter of fact, I didn't live far at all. I lived like 30 seconds away. And I remember about a year and a half ago. And I never told this story. A year and a half ago. You know, I would go to the gym and you would, the first thing that tripped me out, about a year and a half ago, I was at that gym. You see your regulars, you see your elderly, you see the young people, you see, all types of people, whatever. And this dude passed out in the motherfucking locker room. Like he passed out, like boom, hit the ground. And I was like, man, what the fuck is going on? I think he was like, man, he didn't drink enough water and he was still trying to drive. And I'm like, dog, you not well, homie. And it was a couple of other dudes. I was like, bro, you got to chill out. And I never told this story before. And he just was like, and then once he got better, he started telling us all. He's like, man, I'm going through a divorce. And this, I'm not lying. I'm not making this shit up. The dude was like, I'm going through a divorce. I've been married for a minute. I'm finally making good money. Man, she trying to take everything. The kid, like, I don't know if that dude was in there trying to kill himself. I don't know what, because at LVAC they got the sauna and the steam room. It's a communal steam room and sauna, so women and men can go in there, whatever, and it's right by the pool. At LVAC, for all y'all that's familiar with LVAC. And he just started telling us, it was probably like 3 or 4 guys plus the staff. And we didn't even really know what to say. So I was like, oh, bro, well, look, let's not worry about that right now. Let's make sure you straight. And he just was like, man, she trying to take everything. I'm stressed out. I haven't been eating. And I was like, damn. So that was like one of the first inklings. And then you started seeing people get into it there. And I remember one time it was, that was the first time. Then the second time, because you see the regulars. Like, I would always see the regulars. When you go to a gym, you're going to see your regulars that come at the same time as you. You chop it up about work. You chop it up about, y'all know how it go. So I see, some regulars, and, we chopping it up. And this dude came in there and was like tripping. Like, he was just like, y'all looking at my girl. The white dude was like, ain't nobody looking at your girl. Like, ain't nobody even looking at you. So after that instance, because the staff had to come up, and it was a couple of guys, and we was like, what? We was all kind of like, what? And he's like, no, you. And I'm like, me? And my first response was, my nigga, I don't even know you. So that right there, I was like, all right, I ain't coming to this no more. Because that dude done passed out about a week ago. And he stressed out about his wife. And the first thing that made me think of, like, damn, is this dude trying to kill himself? You know, or is he asking for help? So I was like, and then the second thing, when a dude came in there tripping, it was a couple other guys in there. They was like, man, you tripping. After that, I was like, I ain't going to this one no more. And that one close to my house. David, James, Tasha know, my sister know, my little sister know, they know that that's right around the corner from my house, this LVAC where the shooting took place. And my gut was like, yeah, I'm not going to this one no more. I just didn't like the energy, and it made me nervous that guy had passed out like that, because I'm like, man, what if somebody come in here shooting because they woman left them? You don't know how. Look, 1 October, that man went across the street to the Mandalay Bay and shot up all them people and killed like 50 people. 1 October, and I think like 2018 or whatever it was. So after that, I kind of was very weary, and I would move around. I would go, because there's LVACs all over Vegas. So I would move around. I would go to the one on 215 in Flamingo. I would go to the one on 215 in Decatur, the one on Sahara. People know that's from Vegas, know what I'm talking about. I remember one time I drove to the one all the way on Russell and 95. For all you Vegas people, that ain't nowhere near, Vegas and Rainbow. So, because I would, I started feeling some type of way, like, man, that dude passed out like a motherfucker, started telling us how she left, and I was like, oh, hell. And then he was trying to get behind the wheel. So I was like, oh, this nigga's tripping. So then, after that dude came in there and tripped out, I was like, I ain't going to that one no more. My gut, the ancestors must have spoke to me like, don't go to that one, stay away from that. And I just stayed away from it. I was just like, all right, I'm not going to that no more. Then, a year and some change later, a man come in there and start shooting and shot one of the workers. I know the workers in there, they all cool. They, a lot of them are Latino, but they pretty cool, chill. And I used to always be like, what the fuck is going to happen if a nigga come in here and get to shooting? Like, I'm always thinking of my escape plan. I don't never go nowhere and get comfortable. That's why I hardly even go to restaurants anymore, because I just don't like the feeling that I get. If I go into a restaurant and I don't like how it feels, I'll just be like, all right, I'm out. And the man got in there, walked in there and got to shooting. Shot a man that worked there 15 years. So I thoughts and prayers go out to his family. And hey, man, we got to really, really be on our square as far as, like, we can't just be going to places and being comfortable. Now, within reason. Now, if you are in places where it's predominantly your people, that's a different story. If there's a lot of FBAs, I'm more comfortable when there's a lot of FBAs. Because FBAs, we don't do that. We don't just go into nobody's gym and just get to shoot. It has to be a purpose of why something like that would occur. I'm sorry, but FBAs, no. We don't do the school shootings. We don't walk around and get to shoot. And oh, well, such and such didn't want to date me, like the Virginia Tech dude from 2006. That girl didn't want to be bothered with him. That man shot up the whole Virginia Tech school. Walked around the whole campus shooting up people. FBAs don't do that. We know how to take rejection. Look, I done took a lot of rejection in Vegas. You know how many girls I done met before and be like, how you doing, sister? Where you stay? I'll stay with my mama. Oh, yeah. I don't mess with niggas that stay home with their mom. Did you think I got mad and got a gun and got to want to, like, go do something like that? No. You just got to keep your composure. That's it. You know what I mean? So I don't know why that dude would go in there and get to shooting. I mean, and it's kids that be in that gym too, because they got a kid facility right outside it. So it's kids that be in there. They have yoga classes in there. They have like water exercises that go on, because where the steam room and the sauna room, the jacuzzi's right there and the pool's right there. So it's a family gathering type thing. So I was like, damn. I would always, when I'd be in the steam room or the sauna, I would always be, because you could see the front door. So I would always be looking at that motherfucker like, man. And I remember I started carrying my keys around with me, Because I would leave my keys in the locker, and I was like, nah, I'm going to start carrying my keys around. But nothing happened, thank God. But just the instance that happened, RIP to that Latino brother. You know, you don't want to see nobody just get killed. I mean, man just walked in there and got to shoot. He had an AK, too. He had an AR-15, just walked in there and got to shoot. I'm like, God. And let me tell you something, David, James, I'm telling y'all right now. Remember I said a long time ago, I was like, David from No Compromise and James Youngblood, we've had these conversations offline. And I remember I told him, I was like, black folk need to start traveling, going to places like Atlanta, North Carolina, South Carolina. You need to start going to those places because you notice those places ain't having those mass shootings, ain't having those type of events occur. Because in Vegas, we had 1 October where that man shot 50 people, right? Then we just had this man do the shooting in the gym, and then it was a man on the strip running up and down the strip stabbing people. Like, we've had a lot of violent events. And I said, man, I believe it's too many people in Las Vegas, and the crime rate is going to be so high, and the housing is going to be so expensive, it's going to become LA 2.0. And I was telling my siblings, like, man, travel. Go look at other states. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, I got nieces and nephews, too, and I don't want them around that shit. You know? Because if you notice, these southern states, like Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina, you know, then you have your Tennessees and all that. You don't ever really hear about none of that shit like that to that degree. Because Vegas done had about 3 of these motherfuckers. And I'm like, man. And I remember telling David and James Youngblood, I'm like, man, we got to start traveling and looking at other places, even places we don't want to be in. Because let me tell you something, me and David and James Youngblood, we have had these conversations. I remember asking Dave, I was like, David, how do white folk down south? I said, they going to look you in the eye and tell you if they fuck with you, they don't. David, you remember those conversations? David was like, Warren G, you not lying. The white folk down here definitely ain't smiley. They definitely ain't fake. And if they don't mess with black folk, they don't mess with black folk. That's what you want because you know where you stand. See, out there, you get to smile, motherfucker, walk in your job and get I've been saying that. I've always been very, very I used to trip out how they used to treat people at the job when I used to go into an office. I'm like, y'all need to stop treating people like that. Because if a person come in here and get to tripping, y'all not going to expect it. That's why I tried to always treat people with respect. And if I didn't even get along with them, I'd just stay away from them. Because you don't know what a person going to do and pull it. So RIP to that Latino brother that just got shot. He literally, the dude just walked up to him and started shooting. So we don't know if it's a false flag. We don't know what's going on. We just know it's violent. So pray for the family. And I just really, really, really want to put out there that FBAs, we got to really start keeping our heads on the swivel in these states like Nevada, Cali, these states that are very liberal and try to play this, oh, we all in the same gang and all this other shit. No, that's a fallacy. Now that we got done talking about that, I just want to touch a little bit on Puffy. They're trying to publicly shame him and humiliate him and put all this personal business out. Y'all notice they never did that to Hugh Hefner, who was doing the same thing, letting all his homeboys do what they want to do to the women at the Playboy Mansion. But nobody talks about that. But we're talking about Puffy. They didn't go into the graphic details for Jeffrey Epstein or Ghislaine Maxwell, but they're doing this to Puffy. I don't agree with Puffy as far as how he's treated FBA people. I don't agree with his business practices. I don't agree with how he would do that. But I felt like Puffy was making a turn. You like, Warren, what you mean? Think about it. Puffy went from rock the vote to like, Y'all don't remember when he had Brother Reza Islam and Tariq Nasheed on his, when they was on his company that he owned. I forgot the name. I'm blanking on it. And they had kind of like a TED Talk. That's when I knew. I was like, yeah, they gonna get Puffy. And then when he sued that liquor company, I knew it. I was like, oh man. And he did make Ciroc pop. Sorry. Puffy was responsible for that. And when he sued them and got that money, I was like, oh man, they gonna come after our brother. And they did. And I think this is retaliation. And I think what they're trying to do is paint this picture that Puffy in his sex page, and he's a nut and this and that, and look at how weirdo he is and all this other stuff. Well, guess what? I would say 99% of the people that were at those P. Diddy parties knew that, and they were still going. So I don't want to hear from nobody. And I'm so sick of people trying to publicly shame P. Diddy, and they want to put all his business out there. And no diss to Cassie or anything like that, but you took your $20 million. And you were around for a lot of that. But you and that man was broke. David, James. Remember I said that? I said that girl's broke. She married the janitor. He ain't got no money. And he, along with the powers that be, told her to do that. And this is why this is all going on. Because of her. And it's not looking good for her. Because it looks like she was a dope fiend too. And had a whole bunch of drug issues. So I'm very interested to see how much diving they're going to do and how much publicly humiliating are they going to do. See, this is done by the dominant society. Neely Fuller Jr. talks about them being the masters of confusion, but I remember Dave from No Compromise one day, we had a live and he just kept, I got to bring this up. David kept saying, Warren G, like, you don't understand Warren G. You don't really understand. They are the masters of confusion, Warren G. Like that. Look at how they got everybody fighting. They got everybody against Puff Daddy. They got Puffy's baby mama and Mary J getting into it now. Like they're the masters of all this shit. They're gonna have everybody fighting and arguing. And then they're gonna be in the back shaking each other's hand and laughing. That's what they're gonna do. Because I'm pretty sure this would be more looked at as a domestic violence case, not a sex trafficking case. Like he was just trafficking girls all over the United States of America. Come on, y'all. Stop. Just like they tried to get R. Kelly. It's so funny. I remember a person, was it on Instagram or on Twitter? A person was like, oh, well, you know, R. Kelly, he was a bad person. And so was Elvis Presley. Because Priscilla Presley was 14 years old. And this man up here talking about, oh, we sleep in separate bedrooms. And I was the first person, when I heard that, I was like, oh, was that before or after he took the pussy? So I don't want to hear nothing about, no, we slept in separate bedrooms. But they can't wait to publicly shame and humiliate FBA. They just can't wait to do it. Then you got Clive Davis. He's got selective memory. Like he doesn't even know who Puff Daddy is. Like, wow. And they want us to turn on Puffy and go in on him. No, we need to chastise Puffy in private and stand with him in public, because people are getting their rocks off as if Puffy the only one that do this. All you people that were in his inner circle and that was hanging out with him. And it's so funny because you heard Marlon Wayans. Shout out to Marlon Wayans. You heard so many people come out and be like, what type of parties are y'all talking about? Because I done been to Puff Daddy's parties and I ain't never seen no shit like that. Marlon was like, well, when? Is it at the end when I left? Because I've been to them. No. Because those parties were for the people that wanted to have fun and have some extracurricular activities. But everybody's trying to publicly humiliate and shame Puffy because of what the hell he got going on. Nah, y'all trying to deviate from the point and y'all moving the goalposts. They need to bring into question, well, you did ask for $20 million. Did he really rape you? What you ask? Oh, for emotional distress? And he gave you the $20 million. Now you up here talking about, oh, well, you know, this and this and that, and the male escorts and all that. Look, man, that is a distraction. I had to take a page out of David's book. I really did. I'm like, David ain't lying. And Neely Fuller Jr., that's a fact. Masters of confusion. They want everybody to be all in his business. But I'm going to say this and I'm going to end mine. But what? But while we're up here holding Puff Daddy accountable, who's holding the accountable? Because the judge and the jury and all, so y'all mean to tell me they not doing this? Because it was one senator, I forgot her name, but she had to come out. It reminded me of this show called Billions. Because they had the same thing like that on Billions. And she was running for senator or something like that. And somebody was like, yeah, I'm going to put this out. That bitch was like, nah, that's all right. I'm going to just put it out myself. Yeah, I like to fuck other guys. And my husband know about it. Sometimes he fuck other women. And then it kind of just blew up his spot. This was real. I got to look for this lady because she had to put it out there because motherfuckers be trying to blackmail and play all these fucking games. So I'm going to tell you again, while they up there holding P. Diddy accountable, let's hold these judges and dirty, corrupt lawyers and congressmen accountable. Let's go dig in their fucking bedroom and see what the fuck they got going on. I'm out. Peace, nigga.